I was thinking I should. I don't know if this is if this show has points, but I think I should get a point now.
Oh, you get the first point.
Look at that.
You're in the lead. Look at that.
At this cool thing.
No, that is.
I'm gonna control the volume real fast. Oh, where's louder?
Yeah. Well, I would. Yeah, I've got one of those too. It's
I'm
upside
afraid
down.
to pick mine up.
Yeah, I know what you mean, because I didn't know if I had enough slack either. I actually had to unplug my my cooling fan to put it up there because I've got it. No, it's the coolest thing though. I've got this is a JC Pro macro. It's on Kickstarter, and I've got it hooked up. I don't have it hooked up now, but when it's actually on my desk, I've got these two buttons where I can just turn a little PC fan on and make myself a little bit cooler. So
does a little PC fan make a big difference in Florida heat?
It does actually.
Enough?
Well, I've got it just over my keyboard. Maybe I can. Okay, let's see.
We're not going to get a crotch shot, are we?
So I've got it right here. So it like blows across my my keyboard, and yeah, I don't know, cools off my fingers, I guess.
I saw something about the kangaroos in the outback. In order to stay cool, they will try to find a shady spot and they will just wet their hands because it's the part of their body that has skin exposure. And that's enough to drop their temperature like 10 degrees F or something like that. It's incredibly effective. So the hand cooling method, there might be some science there.
Yeah, that's a good point. I hadn't really thought of that, but no, it actually I've got it on now. It does give me a little breeze, which is nice. But I'll have to turn that off so I don't interfere with our podcast.
I have mine today plumbed into OBS so I can switch to...
Ooh.
Oh, that's so cool. And, since you brought that up, Alex, so my cousin texted me. He's like, yeah, I saw your video on that Kickstarter video, yada, yada, yada. It was cool. He's like, you should put that on TikTok. And I said, well, that sounds interesting, but I've yet to use TikTok. So I was thinking maybe if I was to send that to a friend of mine who used TikTok, he might be able to
help you out,
upload it or whatever you do.
Oh, definitely. I have zero sphere of influence, but I can still get it on there for you.
Well, if you have more than me, certainly. I mean, I don't.
Since you don't have an account.
I don't have an account, so really you have infinitely more experience than me. How long of a video can you put on TikTok?
More than 7 seconds is my understanding. That was Vine was 7 seconds, right? It
was 6 or 7. I can't remember for sure, but yeah, they had that hard limit, which was really it was interesting. It was the Twitter approach. I think even Vine might have been owned by Twitter. Now thinking about it.
You might be right.
Yeah, it seems like it. And I think maybe they were trying to do like a 140 character thing, but with speaking. Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah, but so they've upped it now to where you can actually get 3 minutes on there, and that really was kind of what inspired me to do the playlists, because I keep thinking about it. Like there is real educational material on there, and I find it to be very cool to be able to create like a playlist. So you could have, like, let's say you were just learning different trig properties or something, and you have like a page, and then it starts going through cosine, and it starts walking you through the different functions that need to occur and stuff like that. And you can just break it down piece by piece rather than watching a 12-minute video about and trying to or even scroll around in it to figure out specific topic.
Makes sense.
Just got to remember Sohcahtoa. Is that how you guys remembered it too? They taught you to?
Yes. It is, but I bet they don't teach that anymore.
Maybe not.
It doesn't seem politically correct
who knows
anymore.
now?
With the new math and everything, or whatever they say.
Yeah, on the rare occasions that I have to use trig, I have to use Google to look up the formulas, and then I write my numbers down, and then I've got an X somewhere, right? And I'm like, well,
that's okay.
Then I forget. Well, how do you find the? How do you get to X? I don't even remember how to do. It's been 20 years since I had to do this, so then I have to look up and remember how to do that. And I feel embarrassed. And then I have to turn it into code. Gets worse. Then that's a whole nother step, and I'm like,
yes.
Oh crap!
Yes.
Who made me do that?
I feel like, going to engineering school, I feel like you have to take 4 semesters of calculus to make sure you never ever forget trigonometry. I'm not even kidding. I have almost never used calculus after college, but I used trig a pretty decent amount. I have to understand it. So it's like, I'm not entirely joking about that.
Everything is a triangle or made of triangles.
Everything. Were you, out of curiosity, when you were having to Google the trig formulas, were you doing something with SVG?
No. Well, with 3D, with OpenSCAD to make 3D models.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm trying.
Okay. Yeah, I recently had to do one of the components for that interactive warehouse I was talking about earlier. It's an SVG overview of the plant, a live view, so you can actually see where all of your entities and products and stuff like that are inside. But one of the issues with that is, there are some things where you have to have like a precise calculation of rotation. And I was like, how am I going to trig, of course. So then, yeah.
Yep.
That still didn't work out quite right, though, because the origin in an SVG is different from how you kind of naturally think about it.
Okay.
Don't want to go too in the weeds with that. But.
Sure. I remember when I had my first, I was in college. It was a co-op job, like an internship basically. And so my boss, who actually, still friends with to this day, he wanted me to make a circle on something without using a CNC, like basically with a milling machine. So I had to trig out every point on this, figuring out the circle and everything, put it on a spreadsheet. I actually got it right. I was pretty proud of myself. So that was
nice.
This is like trying to draw a circle in pixels on like an Apple IIe or something.
On an Apple TV?
2E back in the 80s.
2E.
E or C. I don't care. I'm not picky. Could be a 2 plus, 2. I don't.
They act like the Apple II was such a popular computer, but it seems like, well, yeah, if you can include like the 10 versions of the Apple II that were, it seems like, I don't know. Does it seem like cheating to you guys? It was a popular
computer for a long time.
It was, but
I definitely used one. Big old math disk in the library. It's like you got to pull it out of a little case or something. I barely remember doing it. I was.
Don't copy that
8
floppy.
or 9. Don't copy.
Was that like an anti-piracy theme or something? Slogan?
Was that a rap, Jeremy?
No,
I don't know how the song went. I only know the "Don't copy that floppy" part.
Yeah, I don't think that really worked on anybody.
No,
because I mean, there were a lot of games I played on the computer. I didn't buy them for the most part. I mean, I bought some of them. Some of them I did. So
I'm sure.
But some of them I didn't.
We used to judge how good the computer games were at the computer store by how heavy the boxes were and how much stuff would shake around inside the box when you listened to it. If there was more stuff in the box, it must be a better game.
Well, yeah, I guess it's got to, if you got like 4 or 5 discs, then it, might have some, got to be good. So, it's you do wonder. I mean, I don't wonder that much, but we get our first computer and it had like 3 discs for Windows 3.0, and what I use now does roughly the same thing, yet it's thousands of times more.
So much bigger.
But I mean,
I couldn't even tell you how big 3.0 was. I mean, it had to fit on like a 28 megabyte.
Oh yeah, it was tiny.
Oh no, it was like 3 discs.
Yeah.
So like 5 megabytes.
If that. I bet it wasn't quite that big.
You don't.
What?
Maybe not.
An entire operating system. That's crazy.
Yeah. So,
you ever see TempleOS? Did you ever read about it?
Yeah, that's the one that they're remaking. Oh wait, no, I was thinking it was BIOS, but that's the other one.
Apparently, a very devout Catholic man created a OS around like the ideals of the church, and he built it all by himself. Like it was completely. It has all kinds of stuff. He built his own games. He learned how to encode graphics into a text file, so it could. It was insane what he's done there with it. But unfortunately, he had schizophrenia.
So this wasn't even based on Linux. This was
from scratch,
his own kernel and everything.
I think he may have written his own kernel. I don't think he used a Linux kernel.
Oh, he wrote his own compiler too. It looks like called Holy C. Capital H, capital C.
Really? Mm-hmm. That's pretty funny.
He wrote an algorithm. And this was later on in the devolve of his sanity. He wrote an algorithm, and he thought that God was speaking to him through the algorithm. So he would plug the algorithm into like paint programs and stuff, and it would draw. And he called it God art or something like that. It was crazy. I mean, he was a very talented programmer, just a little bit unfortunately suffering from that illness.
I just wonder how somebody had time to do all this. I mean, even if you devoted all your time to it, that seems like a,
massive undertaking.
I mean, how many people does Microsoft employ to make an operating system?
Well, not as many. A lot of people. DOS. DOS was just one guy.
Really?
I guess you're right.
Well, boy, that's a long story to get into.
That is a long story.
But the idea is, Bill Gates went to a guy who wrote something called QDOS, Quick and Dirty Operating System, supposedly was called, but he bought the source code, tweaked it a little. So technically MS-DOS is two guys, right? But there was basically an operating system there that became MS-DOS 1.0.
Wow.
Yeah, so
I would have never guessed it.
I guess you're right about that. Yeah, it's amazing what people can do if they put their mind to it. I guess.
I heard that if somebody put their mind to it, they could make a macro pad and get it up on Kickstarter.
You're right about that. You're right about that, Pat. You guys all have one apparently, and
one.
So I guess. Well, yeah, you have several, Pat.
I do.
But yeah, it's interesting. So years ago, I guess I saw something about a rotary encoder to turn up the volume on your computer. And I thought that's kind of cool. So I made one. I think I milled out the housing on my CNC, and then years later I was like, okay, maybe I could make something a little bit different. Made it with a 3D printer, some buttons, whatever, and then I learned how to actually design printed circuit boards, which can be duplicated and look a lot better than my rat's nest of circuitry that I make myself. So then I make something I called it the JC Pro Macro, because it's Jeremy Cook, and the Pro Micro powers it. So I thought that'd be a good something good to like set it apart. Not that I'm trying to like hype myself too much, but sounds whatever. Sounds like it stands for something. So I saw a few of these on Tindie, and then I basically at Pat's suggestion to some extent, he said, well, why don't you put some a couple more keys on there, maybe some more lights on it, and yada yada yada. I after several revisions, I came out with a JC Pro Macro 2 and put it up on Kickstarter. I don't know, that's quite the abbreviated version of it, I guess. But
it's a good story.
But yeah, it's
a welcome addition to my desktop. I use it.
What are you doing
nonstop.
With yours, Alex?
Honestly, just the most basic stuff you can imagine. I really just start, stop, fast forward, reverse, next, back, all that stuff. Just the generic stuff that it's just nice to have it right here, because I sit it right beside my keyboards. I don't even have to hit a function key. My left hand, I can keep my right hand on the mouse and just do stuff while my right hand's still on the mouse. It's just...
Yeah,
I don't know.
I moved a few things over to the macro pad that used to be on complicated key presses, like switching to my headphones and stuff, so I don't have to use two hands to do it while I'm, doing something else.
Well, nice. Yeah, I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. I guess I was just thinking, as far as this goes, I love this. I'm happy with this project, in part because it's mine, but it's just generally speaking, I guess inventing stuff and Kickstarter and stuff like that. I went through one process to make the first one, but then, I really feel like Pat, you and quite a few other people on, that we talked to on the Butterwhat Discord and other places, just really, really helped make it so much better just by their input and stuff. I think that just generally it's interesting to see how a project evolves and how, you get input from other people, and it can really help if it, you listen to what they say. And yeah, also
you have to listen to the right things. You can't do everything everybody says, or else nothing works.
And you're absolutely right about that. I was going to say, there were some things I had to ignore too. I mean, somebody said, well, it'd probably be a good idea if you instead of using the Pro micro board for this, you could put a actual chip on there, AT Mega 32U4 or whatever. Actually put a chip on there, save some money. And he is right about that. But at the same time, it would have delayed my timeline quite a bit. So
yep, but then it wouldn't be modular. You wouldn't be able to put a Bluetooth controller on there like somebody can now.
Right. So there's other things. And then another thing, I'd really, the way I have it now, it's kind of reverse mounted. So you got the headers sticking up through the top. Well, after some contemplation myself and just talking to some other people, I realized it'd be way better if it just fit on there traditionally. So the next version is actually going to make it so it pokes in from the bottom, if that makes any sense. It should
without the upside down pin headers.
Right, without the upside down pin headers. So that'll certainly save me some confusion when, people will get it and they're like, what's up with this? That just doesn't work. Maybe that'll still happen, but I'm guessing a little bit less.
We hope.
Yeah, we hope.
So what's your opinion of Kickstarter? What do you think of Kickstarter now that you've... you're successful now, right? This counts as success already,
well,
right?
If I fulfill my orders, which I 100% intend to do, I would say that's a success. It's successfully funded. Now I have to successfully
deliver
fill all the orders. And, I'll say just not being at this point where I haven't, totally completed it. I would say Kickstarter is, it's a good platform as far as how can I put this? With the first JC Pro macro, I put it up on Tindie. I was successful with that and sold some. But the thing about it is, you do that, you put up your first revision. I feel like with Kickstarter or any sort of crowdfunding platform like that, it really causes you to think and say, okay, if I'm going to produce 100 or 1,000 of these, what do I need to do to make it perfect?
You have to commit to it.
If you're selling one at a time, you're like, oh, this is pretty cool, I'll sell this. Whereas Kickstarter or something like that really makes you step back and think, what do I have to do to make this perfect? And, even though what I was selling before, I did think it was good. I do think it's good, but obviously there were some improvements that I could make. And even once I'd made the improvements that I thought I was going to make, there were a lot of more improvements that I could make. And I don't know, it just causes you to kind of have this point where like, I'm going to put out a product and this is going to be, you're never going to perfect it, but it's going to be as close to perfect as you can do it.
Well, I think you're doing a good job, Jeremy.
Oh, well, thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Definitely. Regarding that, so what is the primary difference that triggers such a different viewpoint on your fulfillment side? Is it Tindie has less traffic, or is it because Kickstarter kind of funnels everybody into like a start gate where suddenly it's open and you got to fulfill the orders? Like what triggers that mentality?
Yeah. I think what you said is absolutely right, because Tindie, you can be successful in Tindie. I mean, I know at least one person who, I've met. He makes his living off there, and but with Tindie, you could make you could 3D print one thing and sell it. You're not necessarily going to sell a lot. You might sell a lot. I mean, Pat, I know you've sold a lot of some things and sold not as much as other things.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
more than I ever expected to, more than I ever planned.
But you can sell it you can say, okay, I've developed this is neat, I'll sell it, people like it, and they buy it one by one. They don't buy it generally 100 at a time.
Yeah, I'm not going into my garage and fulfilling 53 orders like you have to tomorrow. Not that you're doing it tomorrow, but
yeah, I won't be doing it tomorrow.
You've got 27 days, but you don't really have these orders. I mean, you have the orders, but you don't have any information. It's not like you can start divvying things. You can't start today. You can't start until it's over and you know what everybody ordered. And you won't know that for a month.
That's the interesting thing because, well, one thing I did when I got 40 something orders, I went ahead and ordered the Pro Micro boards because I figure I'm going to need these either way, and I can, if something were to happen, I could sell them probably anyway for what I'm getting from China. But just with the supply chain issues these days, I thought, well, if I'm going to have, this is going to be where my bottleneck will be if it's anywhere. So I'm going to go ahead and order that right now while I've got some extra time.
How many did you order?
I ordered 50 of them.
You don't have enough.
well, I did when I ordered them. And then some of them are just the board and the LED soldered on, so that should be okay, I guess. I guess the other shift in mentality, I suppose, is just, when I started selling things on Tindie, I didn't know a lot about actually getting things assembled from China. And now I know I can get, okay, if I have 50, order 50, I can get it set up and yada, 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 and get it in pretty much ready to go. And I guess just, kind of an increase in knowledge over I guess the last year or so. And just like you said, you get that start gate and, you gotta be ready to go.
Pat said 27 days earlier, and it reminded me of the Ring Girl.
Oh, that's right.
Oh yeah, you have watched that VHS tape. You have 3 days.
But I've got 27 days till it's over, and then I have until March to fulfill it because that's what I said I would do. But I hope I can do it. I hope I can do at least a lot of them early.
You'll beat that. You'll do better.
I think I will. But
there might be stragglers.
You
don't
true.
quite get everything you need for all 3,000 orders.
Yeah, well, if I get 3,000 orders, that will be a lot of orders. In fact, I think I limited it out before that because at some point, what am I going to do with 3,000 orders?
You're going to teach your kids to solder. And
yeah.
I know I heard that's what Max said in his video. He said, I don't know who's going to solder him. Jeremy's going to solder him. His kids are going to solder him. We don't know.
Yeah, well, they're 7 and 5, so that's plenty old enough to put them to work.
They got tiny little fingers. Yeah. It's great. It's perfect for the dexterity.
And they're small, so they can get closer to the work. They can get right in there.
Yeah, but they might spill like snacks and like raisins on it or something or whatever.
Why is there a raisin under this key? What happened?
Yeah, you should. Yeah, you don't want to know what all the stuff was under their car seats back.
Is that chocolate or poop? It's chocolate.
I was. Every time it's like you have kids. It's like you're going into. Well, I shouldn't say going into the army because you were in the army, Alex. So I don't, but it's like you got to learn how to field strip a. Well, yeah, you got to learn how to. You learned how to field strip an M16. I learned how to field strip a car seat. Soon.
Oh, an F-16. So that's a plane. Not a.
No, I don't.
gun?
I don't think any of us know how to do that.
No.
Just the M. A couple of M's. I can do a few of the M's, but not none of the F's.
Yeah.
By no means.
And no, I'm not. I'm not trying to compare the two exactly, but I do. Perhaps I was comparing. I don't mean to. I mean no disrespect. If that makes.
It's easier to care for a M16 than a child by an imaginable margin.
You can't leave either one alone in the car on the
or in water
or at the grocery store.
Yeah.
Left my rifle at the bilo.
Yeah. Either of them, if you submerge them for too long, they don't work very well.
No.
And you get in trouble for both ways.
Jeremy, I've been doing a bad job. Have you been paying attention to the chat?
No, I haven't.
Does the fan on your macro pad, does that make you cool enough to go into Hollisters?
Oh, no. You know what? It doesn't even make me cool enough to make that joke. But apparently whoever made that was that cool. So I think you've earned your way into Hollister, whoever. I don't even see that chat, but
I can assure you that Brian is not cool enough.
Oh, it was Brian?
It was Brian. He's not cool enough to go.
I mean, he might have. I mean, that joke.
It was pretty good.
I feel it's pretty good. So I feel like you're at least cool enough to go into Abercrombie and Fitch at this point, or or Macy's at least.
I don't even know which one's cooler than the other. That's how uncool I am.
I think Macy's isn't that cool.
Oh well, yeah, I knew that. That I knew. They have a Thanksgiving parade. How cool could they be?
Hey, so listen to this, Pat. It's off the subject, of course. But so I'm doing my wedding registry years and years ago, right? And the lady's like showing us different plates and stuff, and she's like, "Well, this is from the Martha Stewart collection." And I said, "Martha Stewart, isn't she in jail?" And she didn't think that was very funny. I don't think anybody thought that was funny.
I think it's funny.
I thought it was funny.
And her and Snoop Dogg sell a lighter now with a
They
long
do.
reach on it
They
for
do.
candles and other things. It says on the ad. It's pretty fantastic.
Asterisk.
Yeah. I really sidetracked our conversation there, but
Well, it's my fault. I'm the one who drove us down to Hollister's.
yeah. Now, do you think if my macro pad is successful enough, do you think they might sell it at Hollister?
Do they? What do they sell there? Pants, shirts.
Pants and underwear, possibly. So
They'll just take the knob, turn the volume on the music in the store all the way up, and then break the knob off, because that's why you can never hear anybody talking in those
I
places.
don't want to.
that's a good
Abercrombie would do
point.
the same thing.
Hey,
Do you
speaking
guys
of
shop at, brick and mortar stores often?
Target.
I went to the wood store, the fancy wood store, with my wife the other day.
Okay.
Looking for
Lowe's?
real, but not lumber, but nice hardwoods and stuff. And they have tools and things. It's so hard to find. I mean, maybe they're just poorly set up. I don't want to. Yeah, I do most of my shopping on the internet, where you can just type in, you punch in what you want and what size. Like, I know I need a new hose for the vacuum on my CNC, so I'm like, oh, they have a section with hoses. And I can't figure out easily. You have to pick up all the boxes to figure out what sizes and diameters and lengths they are. And there's no prices on the box. I don't even know how much they cost. It was a lot of. You spend a lot of time just trying to figure out what they're trying to sell you.
No, I mean, you're right about that, because
I'm so spoiled.
I've been in home. I just remember being in Home Depot or something, like, I can't quite find this nail. I'm like, I guess I could just look it up on Amazon and send it. But I mean, it's there, and that's just so lazy of me. But I don't know.
I've been asked multiple times by multiple people to build an app that tells you where things are in a store. Like, basically exactly what you just said. I need a search bar for the
But
store.
if I have that search bar, I could just tell them, deliver it
You
to
just
me
order it on
tomorrow,
Amazon.
Amazon,
Yeah.
or somebody. Just send it to my house.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to walk to the back of the store for that.
Yeah, because I'd have to go home, get on the computer, search for the thing at Home Depot, and then go back to Home Depot. No, I'm kidding. I'm not that old. I have a smartphone.
Yeah. I think I told you I don't have a data plan, Pat, so I'm
I
actually
can't
slightly
even
younger than you.
fathom this, Jeremy. This is, my mind doesn't understand.
How?
Jeremy, my parents' lines on my family plan, they don't have data plans, but for like 8 years they
That's
still
right.
had 500 meg of data, because that was the minimum that you can have on a line with T-Mobile. That was just what they got.
Huh.
So they had
Well,
data.
You have like a cricket?
Yeah.
No, well, it's called
Is it Bell?
Republic
Is it a
Bell. Yeah,
Bell?
yeah, Ma Bell, as they call it. Yeah, I don't even pay for the phone line. I just use my Captain Crunch whistle and whistle through this.
That's 2600 hertz.
Yeah, 2600
Yeah.
hertz. That's right.
I'm aware of this.
No,
I understand that reference.
Yeah. Maybe hopefully people listening will, because that's it's not a rap reference. No, I use Republic Wireless, and they I don't know. It was a whole thing. They had like basically they had a plan that was $5 a month, and you could only use it like when you were on Wi-Fi, and then now it's 15. So I feel like I'm paying.
And you
so
still
much.
have to be on Wi-Fi?
Yeah, you got to be on Wi-Fi, but you can like send texts and talk on the phone and stuff. Just not use the data.
I'm already crunching numbers in my head trying to figure out what we pay. and how many lines we have, and
No contract, 20 a month.
Oh, was it 20 a month now? Man,
that's more than
what
I
they're-
pay, and I
that's what
have
they're claiming
unlimited
here.
data on most of our lines.
okay. I don't know. I guess it's not entirely the money. It's kind of like I like the idea that I'm not like totally connected all the time. That I'm, because I'm on Wi-Fi most of the time anyway.
Yeah, I know this
mean,
feeling. When we moved into this house and our internet install did not want to go well, we streamed Netflix to 2 TVs for days over mobile data. Days and days of Netflix over T-Mobile.
It's great in a pinch in hotels when the Wi-Fi is not working, or if you just don't have any good channels. It's really great to be able to stream, just do whatever you want. That's
Nice. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'll switch eventually, but it's just.
I know how you feel, Jeremy. Everybody's talking about all these exciting phones in Discord. Everybody's talking about the Pixel 6, and I'm jealous of everybody getting Pixel 6s. But what do I do with my phone?
Pixel 2.
Which one is it?
The
2. You're one behind me. I have a 3A. Well, 1.5 behind, or
Yeah.
less than 1 behind.
I don't actually
Yeah, the
know.
3A is the cheaper one, the one that comes out later that's not as good.
Okay.
So it's not really 2 ahead, but
It's been a trooper. It's starting to get now to where because I'm spoiled, the load times are.
yeah. I
They're not
mostly
there.
complain.
I'm
Most of the
happy
things
about
that are
6.
slow on my phone will be slow on any phone because it's waiting for data. Like you open IMDb and the
That's a good
page
point.
comes up that has, whatever movie ads are on there you're waiting for. You open Twitter, it's
That's
waiting for
HTTP
Twitter to
thing,
come
yeah.
down and fill in your...
I was thinking and hoping that using a phone without the data plan would reduce the tracking, data tracking of companies and stuff on me. But I'm actually not thinking that's true at this point because I was doing some research for a story and it was talking about how you basically even these yeah, that's a nice sticker you've got
Did I
there.
do a good job, Jeremy? That
Yeah.
came today.
Yeah, it was talking about basically how these apps, like even if you're not connected, basically they'll download your information like once they connect to Wi-Fi or whatever.
Yeah, and your phone is...
I don't know how true that is or what, but
Oh, we can do a throwback to TikTok. Apparently, there are all sorts of I don't even know what the proper term for it is. Like they can even execute scripts and stuff with that app on your. Yeah, it's wild. It's pervasive. The only reason I don't care is because I did some research on my cookies, the just browser-based cookies, things that I do not have a Facebook account. I do not do anything with Facebook, but Facebook has many cookies on things that I've been doing, and it's because other websites will share your cookie data with them. So it's almost no way to not participate. There's no way to opt out from
website that
Facebook
has
tracking
ads
you.
from that Facebook sells. Anybody that has a
Exactly.
like button, a Facebook like button, you're
Yes.
gonna get tracked.
Yes. Yep. And they have my email address, so it's like, what's even, I hate to feel that way. I hate to be defeatist. I'm not normally, but it's like, golly, how can you avoid it without just disconnecting, cutting the wires?
yeah, no, it's true.
And then you
It's,
have to work really hard and actually go to physical stores and pick out things and look at the prices and
Yeah.
pay cash.
through a-
Oh my goodness.